get there right now, we're just going to kind of move into it. Well, anytime that I find myself in an omoplata situation, I can implement the rodeo guard. Okay, so if I was here, I might get a cross grip, bump the arm, come around the head. I just want to pass this arm to the inside. So this is kind of like an omoplata position. I'm can attack the omoplata right now, which I've always loved this position. It's a pretty easy position to get to. But what I found in time, when you're rolling with more experienced people, or even just people that are stronger and bigger than you, they would often post up a lot, get their head up really high, and be very strong in this position. It'd be hard to get the attacks that I wanted, especially once they had an awareness of triangles, omoplatas, and the armbar attacks that I can do here. It became fairly difficult. So that's kind of where the rodeo came from. So the idea of the rodeo is that, we can stay there, back where we were. The rodeo is in this omoplata position, whereas if I get like this, go ahead and posture up again. Eventually I found myself doing this. They're trying to grab something to keep them down. And then it turned into this, right here. So now, if Jim goes to posture up with his head, look, I pull here, I stomp there, and I can smash his head down, right? Or if Jim was trying to lift his hips and pass around my leg, then I pull here and I stomp there, right? And I control him like so. So I have these like handles and then my legs to utilize to control his head and his hips at the same time, pretty much, right? So his options become very slim in this position. So we're here like this. So this would be phase one, and then eventually this even turned into phase two, which was having this lapel here. And when you roll around, a lot of times this is already loose, so it's fairly easy to get a hold of. And we have transitions to go from whatever position to phase one, and then whatever position to right to phase two. And then we have transitions from phase one to phase two. But this position here, so now I have the head, the hip, the shoulder, and the far shoulder completely controlled, right? Super dominant control in this position. So we're going to be talking more about the variations, more about the maintenance, and how to make sure that we can keep this position as long as we want, all right? With little effort, really. It doesn't take much effort.
Coach,
yes?
could he just punch that one through your legs?
Through the middle?
Yeah, I can't really see.
Go like this right here?
Yeah. You can't do anything with that to punch through there.
So my hips will always be tightly connected.
Okay.
Yeah, that's never been an issue.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. So we'll talk about different possibilities that he can do, or at least try to do, and then we'll have an answer for all of them. All right? It's a cross grip, foot to the hip. We're going to bump. As we hip out a little bit, we're passing this to the inside as we come over the top. So we're hugging with the legs first, and then this is where people get messed up sometimes. Both arms are in between the legs. Okay, I'm not around the outside of either one of these legs. Both arms are on the inside, and that's really important for my leg mobility, all right? Here I'm locking my leg down, right? So I need my legs to be free as possible. So I have my two handles in phase one and two. Another important note in phase one is that this elbow is smashing his arm down. Okay, so I don't want this arm to be free to move either, all right, unless I want it to move, which there will be times where I want it to move. So now we're here, we're in position. So now from here, once again, some of the most natural things people will do right away is number one, try to lift their head like this, possibly keep turning into me. You might try to come here like that. And that's easily taken care of by, once again, I kind of pull more on this lapel and I straighten this leg. So keep smashing me, keep going around. I can just kind of chill. Doesn't take much effort at all, right? And as I do that, you'll notice whenever I extend one leg, my hip should slightly move out to that angle. All right, so if I'm extending my right leg a little bit, my hip goes to the right side a little bit. I'm leaning a little bit more on the left side. And he also might try to lift his hips and smash them this way. Sometimes they try to step over the top, move around like that. They'll try to do movements like that, and they'll try to roll, right? But those both require the hips to move, right? So same thing, as soon as he starts to move the hips, I pull the belt and extend that leg. So he's trying to move the hips now, and my leg just frames it out easily, all right? So he moves the head, here, he moves the hips, there. I'm always crunching up on my shoulder, like I said, and getting my hip to move as well. I'm never staying just flat in position, all right? So we have head and hip control. Once again, this elbow right here the entire time is blocking his arm, right? Because another thing he'll definitely try to do is pull that arm out and push it either through the legs, or sometimes they just bring it around to the other side. And we'll talk more about those things later. Right now, we're just going to control it by blocking it. So now if he wants to get the arm out, it's just impossible. I'm just blocking it. All right, he's got to get through my arm to get his arm out. All right, we turn this way real fast, Jim, so you guys can see. I'm just blocking his arm right there. All right, so I don't want to be too deep on this. It becomes hard to block the arm. Get that elbow in right here, like that. All right, so far, he lifts the head. We extend on this side, lifts the hip, extend on that side. You try to move that arm, we're blocking that the entire time, and we're good with those things. One other thing right now is this foot. They're going to want to try to push it off the head, like that, all right? Seems simple enough. So the major thing about that is 2 points. First point is keep the heel on the back side of the shoulder. All right, so he's trying to grab my foot, keep the heel on the back side of the shoulder. Even when I extend, I'm keeping that heel angled, all right? Point number 2 is, let's say he's got my foot and my knee's pointed outward. All right, now push my foot off, yes, good. So he has my foot, my knee's pointed inward. Push it off. I'm much stronger than he is at that angle, all right? So if my knee's leaning this way, he can push it off pretty easy and pop his head out. But when my knee points this way, my hip's slightly out, that becomes very difficult. And you guys will see later, I want him to try to grab my foot, all right? This is gonna be attack setups for me. I want him to do that. So there's gonna be times where I'm even baiting for this to happen, okay? The main thing right now is that I'm just not getting lazy with my knee, my angle, all right? That's the thing. And then, for the most part, I'm gonna keep my foot hidden over here rather than just over here, all right? So what we wanna do is just get in position. And Jim's just gonna kind of do those things a little bit for me. He'll lift the head, lift the hip, whatever he feels. I'm paying attention to my foot placement, my elbow placement, my hip work, leg work. And I'm just kind of like feeling the position out a little bit, okay? As he goes through that process. For right now, he's obviously not trying to escape at the moment. He's trying to help me build the position up and learning, all right? So it's a cooperative drill, just learning the foundations of the maintenance of the position.